make a good living. But ultimately, if you want to be an entrepreneur, that you build a business and you walk away from it, then you've got to have people. The greatest mutual fund in Canada, the United States, or wherever that we are the people on your team. When we lost money, when the stock market went crazy, guess what? Our income went up because our guys were still working. So make sure that you invest in the things that are very, very important to you, and that's the people that you're building on your team. Trust people for leadership positions. I go by our opportunity meeting every now and then. I don't hit that thing every Thursday because ultimately I want them to have a chance to do it. I want people at our Fast Start schools and at our training meetings to have an opportunity. I believe they gotta be bad, but I think in order to be bad, you gotta do something. And I don't think you'll ever get good until you're bad. And I like for new people to come in and see that new person up there struggling through that thing and saying some of the words wrong or whatever, and then let them know how much money they made. And so it builds up their confidence, but it also builds up the confidence of the people that are sitting there, because they're like, oh wow, they did that and they made $1,000 this month. I know that I can do it. So trust people to take over. Trust them to make mistakes. Trust them to go to the next level. I think that's critically important. You got to duplicate yourself. You can't duplicate yourself unless you have people around and giving them an opportunity to see what they can do. You got to allow people to believe in themselves, and until they can believe in themselves, you got to make sure that they know that you believe in them. And you've got to give them an opportunity at some points that they think, oh man, there's no way that I can do that. And you let them know, yes you can, I know you can, I see it in you. And then you put them up there, and once they do it, their lives will never be the same again. So that's critically important. And once you start building up those kind of relationships, man, I'm telling you, they're there for you no matter what. We've got guys on the team that I know I could call them at any time, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. or whatever, and that they would show up because they know that they could call Honey and I and we would show up for them. You know, and if it's their kids, one of our guys in Texas, his son, so this is third generation, they just had a baby. The baby was like, I think maybe a month premature. The little girl, Aria Christina, was born on Thursday, and 4 pounds, 10 ounces. And ultimately, so we, you know, like text Rodney and Tasha, who are the grandparents, to say, what a blessed child to be coming into with a lineage already set, that her grandfather decided to do something different than the family has done, and her life will be changed forever. And that's what we sold at our opportunity meeting. And so, you know, like we text that to him, and he texts back, and he was like, wow, that is just so awesome. Because Rodney, who's the regional vice president with us, who we hired him in Maryland, but then ended up going to Dallas, Texas. The military took him there, but just doing a phenomenal job. Started off from scratch. Knew nobody in Dallas, Texas. His wife is a principal at the school. They had 3 kids. Rodney did all of his recruiting. He's a cold recruiter. Well, he didn't learn that from me because I'm terrible at cold market recruiting. If I had to do that, I wouldn't be in this business. Now, I can talk to you about, do you have the old kind or the new kind? I can talk to you about that on the street, but a business opportunity, I would start. Somebody was saying today, you know, what would you say? I mean, I would be like, but if I'm talking to you about the old kind or new kind, I have such a passion for life insurance, and I don't know, that's, you know, like the hook that was on the fish that got me in. And so I can talk to you all day about that. Let me look at your life insurance policy. A lot of people don't even want to go there. I can say that. I can also say, your 401k, do you know what's in it? You know, let me come and help you with looking at that, right? We can offer you a service where you can look at it. If we can't help you, don't want to do your business. Because when I get to the kitchen table and see what you have, I need to know that you like what I do before I make a decision to hire you. But there are some people, and like Rodney started with Starbucks, and Rodney hired 25 people in 1 month at Starbucks. He didn't have an office in Texas. He had messed his license up because he's definitely a leader. He never listens to what you tell him. And so, leadership. And so, and then I'll come back to that though, don't forget, okay? And so, but ultimately, he ended up I think at maybe about 90, it was about 90 days before it was actually able to write any insurance, where Rodney had hired over 60 people during that time. But these were cold people that he met there, and he said, I'm here, and I need you to take a look at this. And he did it with the How Money Works book. You know, like, do you think this is something that will make any difference in your community? Because we want to open an office doing that. And the company's sending me here to survey people to see if what we're doing would make a difference in your community. And so literally, he built his business that way. But because he did that, it's like his granddaughter and then his great-granddaughter, the ones that are coming after him, it's like their life, it's set, man, for life. So you got to decide what is it that I can say? What is it that I can do? Where's my passion in this business? My passion in this business is life insurance. That's my passion in this business. I go through all of the other. I'm very excited about all of the other. But my passion is about life insurance. Why is that? I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt to figure that out. But all I know is that I can open up a conversation with you about that and then end up with hiring you, end up with doing all of the other things that we need to do. You need to find out what is your passion about this business, and then you need to work in that area. Here's the other thing that I want to say, like before we break this session out, is that from everybody that I talked to and I looked at the numbers, honey, I pulled up all the numbers last night and I looked at the numbers, like all over Canada. The only thing that's lacking, because you guys are like so on it, man, but the only thing that's lacking is that you haven't decided to go to WORK. And so if you haven't decided to go to WORK, it's not very likely that you would tell somebody else to go to WORK. Does that make sense? This is kind of like telling your kids, you don't need to smoke. What the kid gonna do? So it's the same thing when you tell them you need to go to work. My downline. You got to make sure that you as the leader, you got to be the one to go to work. I guarantee you, if you want to get your recruiting up, however you do it, through going to the kitchen table or through prospecting, whatever, I promise you, if you go out and do it, if you lead from it, and you won't have to lead any more than 1 or 2 months. And then after that, anybody that's there and want to get this thing done, they'll follow you in order to do it. Here's the other thing that you got to do as a leader. You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. And in Primerica, the decision is, if I'm going to win here, if I made a decision and I'm going to win here, I cannot win without being a regional vice president. So once I make the decision about I've got to be a regional vice president, then the other thing is, because we're so money conscious, you know what I'm saying, as women, we want our protection, you want your money, right? You want to make sure that you have that stability. So then you have to say, when will I be able to replace what I'm bringing home now if you're working a job? When can I replace it? The other thing is that the person that hired you, what do I need to do to replace it? Don't be here for 6 months and haven't gotten a check. What you're doing right now is taking yourself further and further back. You're getting more doubt in. It's kind of like a kid that goes to the swimming pool, and this kid is only 2 years old. They get to the swimming pool, they want to jump in because it looks like everybody's having fun. But if the kid doesn't get in the pool at 2 years old, and you allow the kid to not swim now, and so now the kid is like 8 or 9 years old. But the kid heard about drownings. The kid is, you know what I'm saying? And so you tell the kid, jump in the pool. It's like, I can't swim, I may drown. Because it's been so long and nothing was produced. So you got to make sure that you make some money, because we all came here to get debt-free and financially independent, and it doesn't happen with money. Michael Jordan, as awesome as he is, if he had just ran up and down the basketball courts, like shot some up under his legs, turned around, did some stuff, or that, and never put the ball in the basket, guess what? We wouldn't be talking about him. So you got to put the ball in the basket. And what that means is you got to make money. At the beginning of every month, when I started in this business, when I opened my eyes, what I looked at on my wall was $5,000 this month. $5,000 this month. How do you do that? 20 KTs a week. Oh my God, has she lost her mind? What does she say? 20 KTs a week. Why is that? 10 of them are going to quit. You won't know where they are. The dog died, like the cat got colic, whatever. So you get in on 8 of them. People tell you about the 8. You can't do 8 and get in on 8. Nobody has set 8 and got in on 8. But if you set 20, I promise you that you would end up closing at least 2 or 3 and possibly hiring 1 or 2. Who wouldn't be excited about that? Who wouldn't? If I could guarantee you that you would do that, for those of you that are working now, I could guarantee you that you would close 2 or 3 sales or hire 1 or 2 people a week. How many of you would leave your job Monday? So leadership, I understand, a lot of them are raising hands. Leadership is what has to make that happen. People can't sit around with a license and not make money. If I have someone that's gotten your license and they are not making any money, I will call them or go to them and say, I am so sorry, I apologize, I had no idea that, like leading you was such a sorry deal of what I'm doing. I apologize, we need to get together. Can you take me to see your sister, your cousin, your best girlfriend, whoever? I don't need them to give me a 25 list. A lot of people ask for the 25 list. I don't ask for a 25 list. I ask for somebody that care about you. Who is it that care about you? Who is it that if the child was sick or that you needed something, we could call on them? Where are they? Are they at work now or are they at home? They're at work? Well, come on. I was getting ready to go over that way anyway. Let's go over there. Do they drink Starbucks? Let's take them a cup of coffee. So I'm not waiting for you to do it. I know that you're already prepped to do it. And then when I go over there and do that sale, I don't sign that sale. I don't have that sale with them. If they got a license, I let them sign the sale. Why in God's name do you do that? Because as soon as I can get some money in their hand, the more belief they're going to have, the more they're going to talk, and the more they're going to become full-time. That little $300 or $400 override doesn't mean anything to me. But for them to come in and be a business partner with me, and to get a $100,000 ring and I overrun $50,000 a year, that's what I'm talking about, baby girl. So ultimately, we got to start thinking like leadership. We've got the greatest opportunity in the world. And we are so positioned, but it means nothing if our heads are not straight about how to run this business. And we run this business from the front. From the newest person that I've talked to into this room, you guys know exactly what you need to do. Even the persons that have hired you are willing to do whatever is necessary to take you in order to find, like your new golden rock. You just got to make a decision that you want to go and get the daggone job done. It's not easy, ladies, but it's worth it. It's not easy, not by a long shot, but it is totally, totally worth it. Think about if you could up your income between now and this time next year by an additional $200,000. How would that change your life? What would you be able to do for your family? How would you be able to impact other people? It's just amazing, man. But we've got to, I'm telling you, but all of it is a thought process. And here's what I found out too. I found out that when we started going over to California last year before last now, in November, they had called Tony and I, we went out and did a school out there. And when I looked at people who had been there for 6 months, going to regional vice president, when I looked at people who were making $100,000 and they had been in here for 9 months, I was like, what is wrong with these folks? What is it? But you know what I found out it was? Everybody was speaking the same language. So they were speaking the same language. So it's like, well, if you got it, I ought to be able to get it. And then you say, well, sure you can, because this is what I did. And I said, well, look, okay, then I'm going to do it. Then I'm going to come and show you, because this is what she told me about how she did that. And so everybody that we had on our conference calls was people that were running 50, 60, 70, the whole Gerfines team of those guys that were running crazy numbers. Regional leaders doing a $100,000 base shop. Doing so much that they had the company to even change like different positions or whatever, because these people were just going crazy. What was different about them? Nothing. It's just the environment of what they were saying. What was different about our environment before we made the decision to go to SNSD? We didn't talk about that. But once we talked about that, once we talked to the people, if you are below a regional vice president, we're going to do whatever's necessary to help you make $10,000 in the next 2 months. That's what you want to put your hands on by the time we've made this promotion. If you are RVP and above, what we're going to do is concentrate on you making $20,000. I don't want you concentrating on my promotion. That don't pump you up. People say that, oh, my name was so great. They don't feel that great about your money. You got to feel great about their money so your money can go. Does that make sense? It ain't that much kind of love in the world. People supposed to be loving their own families. You know what I mean? And so ultimately, you got to say, by me helping you is how the whole thing rises up. Like now they're saying, you got to get to $1 million, Peggy. I say, no, you got to get to 250. Let us help you get to 250, and the rest of it will take care of itself. Now we're very clear on we need 10 people making at least 400,000. We've got 4 right now, and 2 more that'll be coming out by the end of this month. But you got to know as a leader what to sell people and where to take them. And it's totally up to the leader in order to get it done. But if you find out that the person that you have on that team is not ready to go there, still, love on them. Hey, how you doing? Don't spend the kind of time with people who haven't made a commitment in order to win yet. Don't be mean to them, but don't be crazy and blow your opportunity for them. You would leave your kids in the care of somebody who you know that they're taking drugs or doing the wrong thing, they're smoking, they drink all the time. You wouldn't leave your kids with them. Now they may straighten up one day or whatever it proved to be. So you can't leave your business in the hands of people who haven't made a decision that they're ready to win yet. Because the season that we're in right now won't last forever. We have a window of opportunity like we've never had before. I'm telling you with all that's in me, and you guys just prove it to me more and more and more. I called about 10 of the ladies on our teams, like during the lunch break, because of what you guys have poured into me as to how right now is our time in order for us to move. Everybody in here, daggone it, could rise their stuff by 200,000 to 300,000 within the next year. All you need to do is find 5 or 6 of you that stick your head up and then get into that center clique. You know what I'm saying? Get that core group going and just talk about what you need to do and how you're going to move that money as you move people to the next level. Time is right for it. Time is right. Get the book on focus if you have a problem with being focused. I have a head that I can be thinking about all sorts of things. I can be just all sorts of things. So I had to definitely get the book on focus to understand about. You got to focus on this point in order to get there. Not look at it, but to focus on it, because what you focus on really is what you get. If you're talking about your bills or if you're talking about things that's not right, the only thing you're going to do is get more of them. I tell people that all the time. Quit talking about what's not going right and start talking about the way you want it to be. If you talk about the way you want it to be, it'll happen that way. You got to have a renewing of your mind. You can't pour new wine into old wineskin. So all of these new thoughts has got to be into a new process. There's another book that's called What to Say When I Talk to Myself. You got to make sure that everything that's coming out of your mouth is positive, no matter what. You got to make sure that that's happening for you. If you do that, I promise you, every step and movement that you make will be different because you started it. And if someone says something to you and it sounds negative or not right, if somebody calls me on the phone and they start talking, I'm like, hold on a minute, hold on. Oh my God, hold on. I'm hearing a lot of say, wait, what did you say? Hello? Because I refuse to be a garbage can. Well, I refuse. Not that I don't love them. Sometimes this is what's called my blood relatives. But I refuse to be a garbage can. I am right now trying to get my defense mechanism up for November for Thanksgiving. Because I know all of those people, my relatives will be there. I invite, if I know that 20 relatives are coming, I will definitely have 20 Primericas there. Because I need to have a chaser. You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to dilute that stuff. Because that stuff will poison you. And you sit around and before you know it, you go in all pumped up. And you be around and before you know it, you'll be, oh, I don't know why I kind of feel, like this. So you better make sure that you center your life and yourself around things that are positive and that are going to work for you. This is the last thing. If you're trying to make a decision and you get emotional about it, step away. Emotions will rock your world. Emotions, that's the adversary's playground. Get intellectual. Do your Ben Franklin about yay or nay. Don't deal with your emotions. Do we have them? Yeah. And the oldest history book in the world said they're giving to us for entertainment. serious. So ultimately, you got to make sure that if that thing is getting you and you're feeling emotional about it, back off and say, let me look at this thing another way. I have to do that, especially when it comes to my kids, because I can get emotional about them, of what I want for them. I got to look at it another way. And then I've found the words that will strengthen me to be able to do what I need to do to get to the next level. I'm telling you, it's our time to do something awesome, but we won't do it unless we change. And once we make a decision in order to change, and the person that has to change you is sitting in your seat, and you have everything in your gifts that God has given you in order to make that change and to make it as huge as you want it to be. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tonight.
We need to be back, butts in chairs at 3:35 for the last draw of the day.